everybody. Here we are again. We-MNF, where the masses meet the nerds and the freaks, the sides of our personalities. So today I'm hosting, and we'll now be bold. So buckle up because we go into the more obscure seas of prog rock. So obscure bands. So that's a great risk because I don't know. Chico doesn't know about the band, so he'll say by then, "Oh, I hate this band." So let's see. So today we are going to Asia Minor. Asia Minor. Do you know this band, Chico?
Yep. Yes,
You
sir.
know Asia Minor. Oh, okay. So I didn't went too deep. So I need to go deeper next time. But today is Asia Minor.
I don't know well, but I know
Okay. Oh,
that
nice.
exists.
That's nice. That's nice. I think many people who we watch doesn't know. People usually know the more well-known prog bands like Yes, uh, Genesis, or something that goes close to prog like Pink Floyd or Gentle Giant. Even Gentle Giants more people know than Asia Minor. So Asia Minor is a band founded in Paris, in France, in 1973. They disbanded in 1982. They went back in 2014. And they just recorded two albums, which are both very nice, Crossing the Line and Between Flesh and Divine. Prog Archives is a great source for information on progressive rock. So Prog Archives states that both albums are indispensable for any people who likes prog. And they specifically state that Between Flesh and Divine, the second album is, quoting, absolutely essential. You
Oh,
shouldn't. You cannot not have this album. So you should buy the recording, stream the recording, get in love with it. And we'll play today the first track, the first track of Between Flesh and Divine, which is called Nightwind. And
we will
this
see.
and this is an album released in 1980. 1980. So most of the progressive bands are trying to do something else because punk affected the sellings of progressive rock very much. So Yes was trying to become pop. Genesis had already
Janice,
become pop, but Asia Minor was doing progressive rock. You know, they were not selling anything so significant that they needed to change. So they simply kept it on their progressive rock. So we talked a lot for the beginning of the session. Let's move on for sharing Nightwind by Asia Minor. So let me arrange things here, put us in the video panel. We are in a nice size, but I'll make us a little smaller. And so buckle up, let's go. Nice introduction, isn't it? What do you think?
Yes, I think it's kind of jazzy,
Mm, mm.
especially the drama.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The drumming. Well, I'm not a musician, but the drumming seems quite complex. The rhythm signature he's using.
Yes, I'm not understand music in that level, but sounds to me like uh, a drama in jazz conducts the sound, the music. It's okay.
Yeah,
Similar.
it's an interesting band because it is a Franco-Turkish band. So two of the musicians are from Turkey. So they were students and they moved to Paris in the 1970s. So that's Setrak Bakirel, who is the vocalist and guitar player, and Eril Tekeli, who plays flute and guitar. And then the rest of the band are two French guys, Lionel Beltrami, who is the drummer, so the jazzy drummer that we talked about, and Robert Kempler, who plays both keyboards and bass. So so this is the band
Yes,
basically.
I think maybe it's sounds a little as a fusion because
Mm.
there is some prog rocks that
Yeah,
sounds like fusion.
yeah. Particularly in the 70s, as the 70s progressed, so like 74 and onwards, fusion became very, very strong. And so many
Yes,
bands in progressive rock were really dialoguing fusion. So I agree, even though this band, they say in their website, they're still active, by the way, they're still active. And they say in their website their most influence were King Crimson, and they specifically mention in the Court of the Crimson King, the first recording by King Crimson, Jethro Tull, and they cite Stand Up, the 1969 album by Jethro Tull. It's the second album by Jethro Tull, and they mention Camel, Focus from Netherlands, and Jade Warrior.
Fox, Fox and other prog rock band that sounds like a fusion.
Yeah, they have influences there. Yeah.
Uh, but there is at least so far is not so complex composition.
Hmm.
It's great performance, but not so complex composition in terms that you hear a lot of parts in the music, a lot of
Yeah,
atmospheres. I think it is kind of linear
a
the
linear
vibe.
composition. Well, but
But
it will change
let's
now. It
see.
will change now.
Let's
Yeah, it will
see.
change now.
I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
heard this song before, so let's see.
So, okay. Only one thing before we come back to the music. One thing that this band has, and it's specific to them, as two of the band members are from Turkey, they introduced some elements of Turkish traditional music. And this will
Oh,
be evident along the track in some parts. So let me move
mm.
back so that I get the feeling, and let's go back. A change of mood.
Yes, just because I said.
Yeah.
Distant colder moving, rising dust by the way, forms whirling fascinating
Okay, this is a prog rock. Radio, radio.
shapes. Night after night, night after night. Hearing days of silence,
Very good. Very good.
fascinating
Beautiful, yeah.
shapes. Night after night, night after night.
And now, so it's interesting. So the flute player in the beginning of the track, uh, they sound more like Andrew Latimer from Camel, and in fact, yeah, I can see Camel's influence in this composition. But this last part, it sounds much more like Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. You see the way he attacks the flute. So
The
it's
approach,
interesting.
yes,
Yeah, the approach to
yes.
the flute. That's interesting. And one of the first things that I noticed when I listened to this track, to this composition, that I have this tension between the influence from Campbell and the influence from Jethro Tull. And it's funny that they have in the middle this kind of thing that looks like a horse made with the percussion instruments. This reminded me of Durango Kid from Milton Nascimento's 1970 album, when Durango Kid
Wow.
had the same use of a percussion to simulate a horse.
The percussion in this part um, is what you said that there is
What kind of percussion
a
instrument?
a
A
Turkey
Turkish
Turkish
influence.
influence.
Yeah, that's a part where I see the hints of traditional music from Turkey. It's very soft, yeah, because but
Yes, but set a vibe
yeah,
in the parts.
there are other tracks in this album where you feel more this influence of the traditional music. By the way, that this is a great album from beginning to end. It's really worth listening the whole album. It's really worth it. It's a great album. It deserves the claim by Prog Archives that is absolutely essential. So now I need to buy the CD. I do this thing. I'm not satisfied with streaming, so I like to have the physical thing in my hands. Yeah. And one thing about
Why not to vinyl?
no vinyl, too much space and much more complicated equipment to handle. Then you need to find the speakers with the right impedance. And I had a vinyl player. Someone gave to me. It was great, but then I discovered I couldn't simply plug in one of the speakers we use today in that because they had a different impedance. So that was too complicated. And then the vinyl takes a huge space. So vinyl, I'm not going into there, even though I have some friends who like prog a lot, that they prefer vinyl.
Okay.
We need to accept our limitations. So I accept my limitations of not having vinyl, being satisfied with CDs. I obviously I listen a lot of streaming too, but I think there is something in streaming. If I put in a CD in my player, I usually will listen to the whole CD. You know, you're not standing up, going there, finding another record, taking one out, putting another. So you get more into each piece of work as a whole. Streaming invites you to go from here to there to here to there. So I like streaming, but I like the experience of listening to a whole album. It's easier when you have a CD. And also in some cases, when you have the digital, I don't think it's all the cases, but sometimes the streaming, the digital files, they are handled in a way that if the composition is continuous, you have a silence when one file ends and the other begins that doesn't exist in the original album. So this annoys me a lot. So sometimes I buy the CD because, like Chicago 2 and Chicago 1, 2, both albums that I love it, they are all continuous. Yeah, each side of the vinyl was continuous. Yeah, not all the vinyl because I just turn sides. But each side was continuous. And then if you look in the streaming, they are in separate files. So you have this silence that breaks a continuous note, so it doesn't make any sense. So I really don't like.
I think this happened because of the better transmission of the archive,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
files, the
yeah,
files.
yeah, yeah.
So, but I'm not sure. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking
No,
here,
it's certainly
wondering.
possible. It's certainly possible to put in streaming like this because I noticed in some albums you don't have this effect. So what they did is that they put they put the whole side as one file, but then exactly what you would say happens. The file is heavier, yeah. So it's like a trade-off. Either you have files
Yes,
that people can stream easier, but then you have these silences, or you put the whole file which is heavier. Yeah. So some choose one way, some choose another way. I prefer the heavier file. I'll move back so that we continue, but when you return, I want to talk to you about the bass. But let's finish the song now. I love how this composition ends. The final part is fantastic. It's very epic. Some epic ending.
yes, but this keyboard is not so good.
What you didn't like about it?
Oh, oh.
You didn't like the sound. It doesn't
Okay,
bother.
it's not bad, not
It's
bad,
not
but
bother me.
it is not expressive keyboard uh,
But we are talking
as
specifically
you
about
as
the
you
sound that was
you
chosen. Yeah,
you can hear customly in a prog rock band. It's
I
a
see.
good
I see.
keyboard.
Yeah. Well,
So, but
doesn't bother me.
it's very simple, but not just the performance, but the sound is very simple.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what I like is that the band is sounding in a very integrated manner in this ending, and it's very epic. So I like this ending. Yeah. Basically, the track has like three parts. Yeah, you have the introduction, then you have the vocal part, and then you have this ending. It's basically that.
The second part of the music was I like it more.
Well, the
So
vocals are very
it's
beautiful.
very beautiful,
Very
a great
beautiful.
composition there.
There's a great composition. Yeah. What do you think about the bass? I
It's
think
good. It's
it's
very
good.
good. It's
It's
this.
very to the front, particularly in the
It,
first part of the track.
yeah, it's difficult to play bass in the right
Visions, the visions,
subdivisions
the
of
visions.
the rhythm. The great basses is the ones that really can do that. It's just a guy. Yeah, I think he can do that. He's the same guy that played keyboard, right?
He is the same guy who plays the keyboards. Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, he's good. He is good.
Yeah,
The
it's a
sound,
good
this
band.
the sound good is good. You have a kick sound, the drum from the
Yeah,
drum, the kick sound with the sound of the bass is too
cohesive. Yeah,
uh, cohesive.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah.
dynamic is interesting because they're tight and with a good punch and a good
Yeah,
sound.
yeah,
Uh, The
yeah. I
drum,
agree. I agree.
the sound of the kick, and the sound of the bass. So it's good to hear. It's
Yeah,
good to. There is a groove. It's a great kitchen. In Portuguese, we call it cozinha. Uh,
cozinha. Yeah.
is the bass player,
The kitchen
the,
of the
ki-
band. I
the
don't know if they
kitchen.
say this in English, but it's a great expression. The kitchen of the band, who is cooking
Yes,
up the rhythms.
exactly. So I think it's
It's
a
tight.
good
Yeah, yeah,
observation of yours about the band. They have a good hit rhythm session.
yeah, yeah. They had a great rhythm sessions, and I think the drummer is particularly outstanding. He's a great drummer,
Yes,
and the
the
flutes,
jazz
the
drummer.
jazz drummer. Yeah, one thing that they have is they don't go into soloing. They are not for that. They play as a cohesive band.
Yes, the guitar player. This is the point, the weak point of the band is not
Well,
the he don't have a good sound of guitar.
well, in fact, they
Guitar.
don't put, at least so as far as I listen to them. It's funny because I was reading and some people said, well, the most, the instruments that take center stage in Asia Minor are the flute, the guitar, and the keyboards. I listen and I don't think this. I think only the flute
No,
is really
uh,
central. The flute's really central. I think the bass and the drums are so important. And the guitar is always everything I heard from them. The guitar was very modest, very really not
well,
appearing very much.
I just heard one song
Yeah,
based
yeah,
in this song. I think the drum or the bass
and the
is
flute. Yeah, yeah.
very expressive, very good.
Well,
The flute is good too.
agree. Yeah.
The
I,
composition.
li- I,
It's a good
the,
band. It's a good
It's a good
band.
band. It's a good band.
It's a good band.
By the way, they are called Asia Minor because the two of the band members are from Turkey, and Turkey's in Asia Minor, so it's quite easy to understand the name of the band. They were into a big competition in myself because I'm listening to a lot of obscure prog rock these months, and I was trying to choose one. I was going to choose Wapasu, but I know you didn't like Wapasu, so I decided on not Wapasu. But then Wapasu, for those who doesn't know, is a French band. It's difficult to say they are prog because they are themselves. They are in their own league. So it's difficult to classify Wapasu.
Young League is so funny.
Yeah,
Young League.
your own league.
Young League of the Unanimated.
Yeah, I remember that's a funny story we had. So for you all who are listening to us, so we got into this thing of sharing music because we are doing these sessions to share music among ourselves and some other friends since the 2020, since the year of the pandemic began. And so we do this up to these days for fun. And I was in one of the session telling Francisco, well, I listen to a lot of obscure bands. You should listen to that. Then he made a funny commentary. Quite often when things are obscure, that's for a reason. That was quite funny.
Yes. This one of the reasons, but there is many obscure bands
They are
that
very
are
good.
very
Yeah,
good,
they are very
very
good.
good.
That was a funny
But
observation.
let's talk about the cover.
The cover. Oh yeah, yeah.
The cover of the album deserve a commentary
Let me share. Let me share the cover
because
here.
it's a mix of Picasso, Salvador Dali, and Miro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
crazy mix
yeah. But
expression.
well, I have I would say, I have mixed feelings about this cover. Let me
Do you
find
like?
one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to find one nice image here where the cover is. I think the best one I'll find is exactly in YouTube. So I'll upload again the video because they had the cover here. It's a bigger one. Okay. So let me share just the cover so that we talk a bit about it. I'll be interested in talking about it because what I let me put us back here in the panel so that we see each other. So what I like, what I don't like. Well, I like the fact that they are referring to their roots. Yeah, you have a pyramid, you have some symbols that makes us
But
think
Turkey is
of.
not in the north of
Yeah, but
Africa.
they're pointing to. Yeah, I know. They are pointing like to ancient times. So ancient times because they're Turkey, Asia Minor. Yeah, but what I don't like, it looks a
We
bit like an amateur
we
work.
have
Not a great drawing, I think.
yes, it's not good.
Yeah,
We have the bigot of Salvador Dali bigot inside of the triangle, inverted triangle,
oh,
aside of the
uh,
pyramid.
yeah, I see now. Yeah,
Uh, it's a mix of geometry design with freehand design.
yeah.
Uh, it's like uh, it's like you are mixing constructive design with surreal design.
Surreal design. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's strange at least.
Well, I think
And
there are nice ideas. There are nice ideas like this pyramid and the pyramid that's below it, like a projection that will have something that look like something that has some perspective, that there is something like there is a hole and then something inside. Then you have a woman here. mixed up with something that looks like a ear. There are some nice ideas, but I think it's not really doesn't look like a very professional drawing. I don't know the origin of this cover, but it looks like someone sit down and make a drawing. Uh, it's not like a Roger Deans. Yeah.
Of course not.
Of course not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not a
But I think deserve a commentary because in, anyway caught my attention. I
oh
was
yeah.
watching so sometimes this is what matters to the
Yeah,
band.
yeah. It catch your attention. Catch your
Yes,
attention. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Well, in fact, the music inside the album, I think, is much better than the cover. Because this is really, as I said, is a really a great album. And if you listen, it's as an entire and in its entirety, it's a great experience.
I don't know how I know that this band exists. I don't know it's from Juan, if he put some times
No,
in our
yeah,
sections.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't, but I know. Uh, I think I know the covering inclusive.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't remember heard the songs.
Yeah,
So,
okay. Okay. Well, it was not me because I came into Asia Minor quite recently, as I was delving into different prog bands. Then I found Asia Minor. So for me, it's a relatively recent discovery, like 15 days, 20 days. But then I
oh,
listened to this album like 3 times already. And I
um,
listened to the first album only once. So I need to pay more attention to the first album.
uh, if he was not in the sections that I was presented to the band, I think it's in my own research here.
No, no,
Because
but
I have some radios online, that
mm,
prog radios, because you guys, I have to leave sometime.
So I'll just talk a bit about the lyrics. The lyrics are very simple. In fact, they just describing patterns that the wind generates at night. It's simply that, the lyrics. So it's kind of beautiful because it's just a contemplative lyrics, like someone is watching patterns, forms that the wind is making, like sand, for instance. There you have to see the patterns that the winds are making in the sand. So it's just that. And the vocals are very beautiful. Yeah. And it has this idea that these people who are watching these, they'll be watching quite often because they have this thing that is night after night. Yeah. And they say you see the rising dust forming weirdly and fascinating shapes. This is about the dust. So it's a kind of desert song because I think it's in deserts that you see the dust forming patterns like this. So and then like
Yes,
this.
inclusive in the final part of the music, uh, the vibe is like an adventure vibe.
Yeah, it's very
I,
epic. Yeah.
I, I can imagine being in a camel
In a camel.
in a in a camel in a desert,
Yeah.
walking and hear this song.
To be imagining to be in a camel is much more comfortable than being a camel.
Uh,
It's something very good in imagination.
in fact, I can
In
imagine
real experience, it's
that.
not so nice. It's very high. It's a little scary. It's a little scary. And not exactly
You already ride
once, only
a camel?
once, only once. And
Wow, nice.
and also it's not exactly the nicest smell you experience in your life.
I don't like places with sand. I don't like
Yeah, yeah.
beach and
It's
desert.
there is a
Uh,
musk. A camel has a musk. It's part of being a camel to have a musk. So you are on top of it. It's very high. So So you feel that, well, if I fall from here, it will not be good because it's very, very tall animal, and
And
they are a bit.
he should must to lay down,
Yeah, so you can't
or
go, you can't go. They
or
should lay down so that
you can
yeah, yeah. And they
climb.
and they're a bit moody, yeah.
Even that you have to climb
Yeah, exactly,
the
exactly.
animal.
And they are moody animals. They are very moody.
Oh,
So yeah, it's not very pleasant. Oh, it's
I
a good
thought that
experience to have
was
once. To have once in your life is a great experience. But you think
uh,
of the desert people who rides them all the time. Well, but for them, the experience is completely different, yeah. Because they
I
grew
can
up
die
doing
without that.
they grew up. No, you should do that.
No, I really can die without that easily.
Yeah. You know that when I ended up in a camel, it's because you have no option, you know. You have no
Yeah.
option because you are there and someone grabs you. Oh, you should ride a camel, and then you are suddenly being not exactly climbing the camel. People are putting you there, and then when you're there, then the camel rise up, and then you okay now enjoy. You don't have an option, and then you go down. The money will flow from your pocket for sure. That's the
Uh,
magical
ho-
part.
uh,
The magical part of riding a camel. After you get off the camel, money flows from your pocket.
in a big horse, I felt scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you shouldn't ride a camel. It's much higher, much taller than a horse.
And so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
You should do that. You should do that. But okay, that was another session. I hope you enjoyed. We delve into some more obscure music, not as obscure as I like it, because Chico knew the band, so I have to make a great
I knew that existed, but I don't have I don't remember the experience of him, the band. No, I just know that just that.
Yeah, but I'll delve deeper to get more obscure things. This is a band that have 3 albums. I need to find one that had only one compact, only one track in the whole career. No, I'm joking. So okay, I hope you enjoyed. So if you enjoy, give us a thumbs up, follow the channel, and we are very pleased to be doing this. Is very fun, and we wait you in our next episode in We-MNF. Bye bye.
Thumbs up, people. Bye.
Bye bye.